Hello guys, hope you all are doing great. So why I came up with this video? So I see many even experienced Java developers facing issues in understanding these Java 8 concepts because we just go through some examples, learn the overview of the concepts and just apply them randomly without understanding the why of the concept. Okay, whatever we do in life, like whatever we are learning, whatever we are doing, it is very important to first ask the question why we are doing it, like why we are learning it, why the Java 8 was introduced in the first place. So that is very important. So I'll be covering these basics in this video, and in the upcoming videos we will see all the other concepts in detail, and this will definitely make your base very strong in Java 8 because this is the version that you need to be strong with, so that all these upcoming versions 11, 17, 21, this will help you in understanding those also very well. So it is very important you keep your base strong in Java 8 first. Okay, so I have been referring this book, Java 8 in Action. Okay, so Java 8 in Action. So this is a very good book if you want to learn the basic concepts of Java 8, not just basics but in detail concepts. And if you cannot get this book for some reason, if you don't have time to read a book, you can watch my videos for a couple of minutes and you will get the same concept. So I'll be helping you, like transferring the knowledge from the book to you guys in a more simpler way. So without any delay, let's get started. So why Java 8 was introduced? Okay, so basically there are three main reasons, okay, for the Java developers to introduce Java 8. So the first one being multi-core processors. Okay, nowadays in laptops, in computers, everywhere we have multi-core processors, not just single core processors, but majorly, like all the major Java programs which were written, they were written to run on a single core processor. So it's like you're just using one core processor and just leaving the other three idle. So that is not something we want, right? We want more efficient programs, more efficient applications which will utilize the resources to their full extent, right? To use all the cores of our CPU. So that is why. So but we can say that we can use multithreading, right? Why not use multithreading? But everyone knows that is very difficult to implement, and also it is very error prone, right? If you are not someone who is experienced with multi-threading, and generally in the teams we do not have experienced people who have a lot of experience in multi-threading, so it becomes very difficult to manage any application if we do not have experts, and it is also like very error prone, right? So that is why we need something that is very simple but also uses this all the cores which are present in the systems and the servers, right? So that is one basic reason to introduce this Java 8 concepts. Like if you don't evolve with the technologies, with the infrastructure, so then it becomes very difficult to survive in the industry, right? And the next one would be to pass we would say behavior parameterization. Okay, we will see more about this in detail. Okay, so let us take one example for now. So consider you have a collection, okay, and you have to sort this collection. So what do? You write collections dot sort, then you pass the list which you want to sort, and then a comparator. Okay, so now comparator, how do you pass? So you have to create a class, comparator class, then you have to override a method, and in that method you have to give the condition for sorting. Okay, so these are all extra lines of code, right? You have to define a new class, you have to define the method. So these are extra lines of code. What if we can pass this class, this method as a parameter? Okay, so this is a behavior, right? This behavior. So to this collections dot sort, if you pass some other comparator, some other behavior, so it would sort it in a different way, right? So this behaviors we are parameterizing, right? So that is also one main reason to introduce all these concepts of streams. And what next? If you have come here, like you have already worked with some of the programs of Java 8, so it becomes very easy to read the code. Like I'm saying, sort this list based on this condition. So when we write it in Java 8, it becomes like sort in that condition, right? So that is, the code becomes very easier to read. If not, it like if you have many anonymous classes and all, the code also becomes very difficult to read and understand. Like it becomes time consuming to just understand what is written in a single method, right? So these are the three main reasons for all these Java 8 concepts to be introduced. First one, as we have seen, right, the stream API, and behaviors as parameters, as we discussed. And the third one would be like why the default methods like introduced, right? So why these default methods were introduced. So coming to the first one, the streams API. So first let us take an example. Okay, you have a list of transactions. Okay, we have a banking application and we have a list of transactions, and you have a use case wherein you have to sort these, like you have to filter out the transactions which are greater than 1000 rupees. Okay, and then these transactions are in different currencies and you have to group these transactions based on the currency. So what we will do? So let us look at this example. So first you will create a map, right, and then you will loop through the transactions which we have. Okay, and then we will get each transaction, check the if condition, and then we will check if this is greater than 1000, and if it is greater than 1000 we will get the currency of it, and then we will check in the map which we have defined that if this currency is already existing in our map, in the grouped map, if it is there we will get it and add this new transaction there, or else we have to create. So this is very lengthy, right? And also if you carefully observe here, what we are doing is we are iterating through the list, right? So we can term this as external iteration. Okay, externally we are the ones who are iterating through the list, and then we are finding out, we are filtering and then grouping the list as per the requirement. So what happens with streams is the streams library itself will iterate through the list, right? So now if the same example, if we write in streams, let us see how easy it becomes, right? So we are just doing dot stream, filter and collect and then grouping by. Okay, so it is that simple. So what we are doing here, are we iterating through the list? No, we are not iterating. So this kind of iteration we can term as internal iteration. So the streams library itself is iterating through the list and then processing it and giving it back to us. So this is one benefit and use of this streams API. So now let us see what is behavior parameterization, right? So till now what all can be passed, like before Java 8, what all can be passed to a method? We can pass primitives, right? Int, long, double, we can pass primitives to a method, or what? We can also pass object references. You can either pass a reference of a list or a custom defined object. Okay, so either primitives or objects. So we can call these as first class values. Okay, so these are the first class values which we pass around in the methods and then process them. Okay, we can consider the methods and classes as the second class values. Okay, we are not actually operating on them, right? But what if we can consider our methods or functions as first class values? What if we can pass around the method? We can create a method and pass it around to operate on it, right? What if we can make our methods as first class values instead of second class values? So this was found very useful in other programming languages like Scala and Groovy. Like it makes the life of programmers very easy if we can pass around the methods as first class values. We can pass around the methods and operate on them. So this is one thing. for like introducing these what we call method references, right? So we refer to these methods and then those method references we are passing around. So let us see one example for it. Suppose you have a list of apples, okay? So initially you have to sort these list of apples by some color, okay? And then what you will do, you will write a method, you will take the list, you will filter out, and then you will give the result. And then next tomorrow you have another use case where you have to get the apples which are heavy, right? So what you will do, you will write another method, okay? You will take this list again you will write an if condition, then you will return the result, right? So if you observe carefully, okay, only the if condition is changing here, right? The other parts are same. You are passing the same list, you are returning the result of list of apples which are heavy or which are of this color. So only the if condition is changing. So what we can do is this changing line or the condition between different methods, like the methods would be same but there is just something that is different. So what if we can pass this something as a parameter itself to a method, right? So what we can do here is we can just write a static method as filter by color, then filter by weight, and then we can pass just this as a parameter. So we use this predicates which are defined in Java 8. So we will pass this and then test on this condition. So that condition we are passing, that conditional method we are passing to the our one method which we have written, and then testing the condition, because this conditions tomorrow you will have some other condition, then again you will have some other condition. So that is the conditions we are passing and then testing these conditions. So that is nothing but we are passing the methods as parameters, right? So that is one thing. So but then if you see, like then we can filter out on these methods, but then if you can see here also, then there is something repeating, right? You are writing the definition of the filter, and then but like again and again you have to write such definitions which are of no use actually, right? We are not using those definitions at all, so which are of no use. So then what? So then came into the picture our lambda expressions, right? So using this lambda expressions, we can altogether remove those method definition at all, and we can just use whatever is the actual intent of that method, right? So we can directly substitute this with lambda expressions, right? So here we are passing expressions as values to the methods, right? So we can either pass the expressions, we can pass methods. So methods when we can pass, okay? So suppose if we have like this predefined methods, like in the run method or any predefined methods if we have, then we can directly use the method references, the name of the class, those double colons, and then the method name. So that is passing methods as references. But if you do not want to, like if you have your own class where you do not want to write these different methods and then use them as references, then we can go ahead and use these lambda expressions directly. So that is where the concept of lambda expressions have come, right? And then not just that, so now our code becomes even more simpler. If you can see, we are just whatever condition we need, we are just passing that condition. But still the Java programmers have not stopped here, right? So what is the main criteria here? We are filtering, right? So we are filtering the collections. So what they have done is they have introduced some operations which are generic in the library, okay? In the library itself, they have added these generic concepts like filter, grouping by, like counting, okay? All these are already introduced. So you can directly use that filter and then pass, like filter out the list, right? So this is that example for filtering out. All these examples, what do you see? Okay, you have a list dot stream, right? But do you think the list had that stream method before? No, right? So suppose you have an existing interface, okay, and there are some classes which are already implementing, which have given the implementation of this interface, okay. What if you add a new method in that interface? What would happen? So all these implemented classes would break, right? They would have to go ahead and implement this new method again. Okay, so then how to handle this issue? This concept of default method was introduced, okay, wherein the implementation is provided in the interface itself, so that now your list interface has the stream method, right? Because many implementations of list are there, many concrete classes are there. So if you directly add a stream method in the list, all that would break. So many applications of Java would break, right? So that was not possible. So that is why the default method concept have come up, so that our old interfaces can be more evolvable. Like we can evolve these old interfaces which earlier we would not be able to. So with this default method concept, this interfaces also we can add these default methods and make them more usable, right? So this stream method, parallel stream method is added in the list interface. So all these are the default method implementations. And also if you see, sort is also added in the list, because generally we are sorting the list only, but why to have it in the collections? Why not directly in the list? So this even this sort is also added as a default method in the list. So even if you have interfaces which you want to add some more functionality to it, like earlier you were not able to, now if you want to evolve them and add more functionality, some default behavior, so we can use these default methods. So these are the basic concepts of why the Java 8 concepts were introduced. Okay, one, for the multi-core processors, to make code easier to read, and also to consider behaviors also as values and then play with these behaviors with like as a methods or the expressions, the lambda expressions. So this was the main core why these concepts were introduced. So stay on with these series of videos, and I am sure you would be perfect in the Java 8 concepts. Okay, so if you have any questions, do let me know in the comment window. And if you like this video, hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much. Have a great day.